All right, guys. So, question of the day: what has been your best and worst record in fantasy football since you've been playing, essentially? So, for me, it was I only lost two, and I made it all the way to the championship. However, I did not win. I lost. I was in second place. That was my best record. My worst record so far has been only four wins and the rest losses. So it's very sad that I had to go through that grueling fantasy football season. So far, we're looking good right now this season. We're above 500, so that's a plus. But we'll see what continues as we go into the second half of this fantasy football season. So let me know in the comments as well what has been your best and worst fantasy record. All right, guys. So, top mid-season performers. These are players you didn't draft high or at all, who've paid off, and these are the hidden gems making managers look brilliant. First off, we got the man himself, Danny Dimes, fifth in passing yards this season, second overall in QBR rating. His finishes since, well, let's say halfway through the season, he's been quarterback three, quarterback seven, quarterback 11, quarterback 26, quarterback 18, quarterback four, and quarterback 11 again last week. So they do play the Tennessee Titans this week. Expect him to have a big game in the rushing percent. I think they're going to run the ball a lot against the Tennessee Titans this next week, but we'll get more into that later on in the week. So far, he has been having the most consistent season in his career. And with him being in the Indianapolis Colts, I think this is going to be a season to remember Danny Dimes by. I believe he could also be the comeback player of the year when the season's all said and done, especially since he's never finished a full season of football. He's always been injured. So hopefully, cross your fingers. Hopefully this doesn't happen for him. God forbid. But let's see if he continues this production. He is one of my midseason top performers. Next one on the list will be Mr. Keenan Allen, or as we call him, Slayer. So, Mr. Keenan Allen has been the old GOAT of the Chargers, and he is I believe it's seven catches away from reaching the all-time Charger record in catches from a wide receiver, like the likes of Winslow, Gates, Vincent Jackson. This man is about to be number one in catches. So very excited for Mr. Keenan Allen. He's been one of my favorite players since I've been a kid, since before he came into the league. He got drafted with Phillip Rivers there, slinging the ball. He was a good pickup, and he's been just the most consistent wide receiver I've seen, getting those third down to first downs, getting those touchdowns that are needed. He is on pace for 1,000-yard season. Touchdown upside is very high for him, especially now him having four. He's about to he's on pace to beat his career in total touchdowns in a season. So very excited to see Slayer come back to the Chargers, get back with Justin Herbert. He's averaging 10 yards per catch. So I think he is somebody that has been a top midseason performer. Next on the list, we have Mr. Kicker himself. I believe this is the real Legatron, if you ask me. I know there was a kicker with the Rams that came in. They called him Legatron because he could boot it from 50 plus yards. Well, this man's booting it from 60 yards, people. 60 yards. Mr. Brandon Aubrey himself is having another great year, number one in kicking. He has no weaknesses. No weaknesses. Since 2023, he's averaged 185 total fantasy points and is on pace to do the same this year. A lot of people pick their kickers at the end, but myself in one of my leagues, I like to pick a kicker, in those later rounds after, 4 through 5. I believe I picked him up actually in like the 10th or 8th round, around that area. And he's given me at least a good solid, 10 to 15 points per game. So if you're struggling at the tight end position, which a couple of years has been going on with struggling tight ends, keeping consistent, keeping production, giving you those total points high. It's been Brandon Aubrey, a consistent kicker that is giving you the points and helping me go to, I believe I'm at 4-2 in that league. So very excited about that. I've had Brandon Aubrey for 2 of the last 3 seasons. If you guys don't believe me, check the stats. He's consistent. The Cowboys offense is an explosion of firepower this year, and they're going to have to keep up with these other teams due to the fact that their defense is absolutely garbage. Now we got Mr. Yes, Mr. Scatman, Scataboo. Since week one, he hasn't scored less than 13 points, guys. With Dart being back on the field with him, he has a great chance to stay a top 15 running back that was bottom of the barrel draft pick. So I'm very excited to see Mr. Scatman, Scataboo out of ASU coming in, making a name for himself, as well as cutting into the carries of Tyrone Tracy. Keep a lookout because he will be at least a top 25 running back in my eyes. Right now, he's been ranked, or his top finishes have been 6, 3, and 11. Other than that week one outplay, he's been inside the top 25 of running backs, as well as getting those amount of carries up. Like I said, he is going to be somebody that has been a top midseason performer due to the fact that he's come in, he's been picked in the late drafts, and right now he's ranked right there with the likes of Bucky Irving, Ashton Genty, Saquon Barkley, Javonte Williams, Brees Hall, Quinshon Judkins. These are the players and the names around Mr. Cam Scatterbo that was drafted late and now showing you why he can be a possible RB2 or even an RB1 on some fantasy teams. And speaking of those names, one of those names is Javonte Williams, guys. Drafted with low expectations, is now a top 10 running back with high praise and on pace for a career year. In an explosive offense, I think he can really thrive now. And with the right coaching, the right gameplay, he can be a top 10 running back, like I said, and has never finished out of the top 15 of running back positions in weekly fantasy football points. So if you look at his stats, he finished 4. In week 7, he finished 8. So out of most of those weeks, he's in the top 10. And then the later, kind of crappier weeks, guys, he's at running back 25, running back 32. I mean, I think that was more so just game script as well, because those are some of the where they were needing to pass the ball a lot more. So with him and Dak Prescott and CD Lamb and George Pickens and Jake Ferguson, I think there's enough carries, touches, targets to go around and feed everybody. Somebody will lose out, but I think Javonte Williams is on pace for a top 10 running back year. If you guys drafted him, you were, like I said, with low expectations, but now, hey, give yourself a pat on the back because you got one of those gems in the rough. Next up, we got Mr. Drake May. I told you guys last week he was a top 5 quarterback, and now he's even total points. In his total points, he's top 3. So he could be a top 10 at the end of the season, maybe even top 5. Depends on how the season goes. But right now, he's been a top 10 quarterback and even a top 5 quarterback in a lot of rankings, giving him good status, on pace to smoke his rookie year stats. And with a good coach, Mike Vrabel, he could stay in the top 10. Now, looking at Drake May, guys, so far, he's given you what you need from a consistent quarterback in this year. Looking at the touchdown passes, let's look at those. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So far 12 touchdowns. So 12 touchdowns compared to 2 interceptions. He's been sacked 22 times, and his rushing attempts 44 for 200 yards. So he's giving you the rushing upside as well as the passing upside, giving you a good finish of number 4 currently, and his completion percentage is 0.02 compared to 152. So he's missing about 50% of his passes, guys. This guy is really doing his part. 148.5 fantasy points he's been currently totaled out. And I don't see any place for him to slow down other than coming up this week. He's got Cleveland, and then following that week, he's got Atlanta. I think those two defenses will test him out. But other than that, I mean, his season looks beautiful and looks like an opportunity for him to go top 10. All right, guys. So for our next topic, we're looking at our mid-season busts. These are players that were drafted in the first 4 rounds of this year's fantasy draft. Number one, Saquon Barkley. For being picked in the first round of draft, Saquon has only bested 100 scrimmage yards zero times, guys. He's not I think everybody knows there's a Madden curse that goes on every year. Player that's on the Madden cover has a horrible year or injuries or whatever the case may be. It might be real because Saquon Barkley this season has only been at best an RB2 or flex, ranking 15th overall as a running back. So I don't know if you had Saquon Barkley, sad to say, he has been hurting your team. He still is somebody that you want to start every week, but for only, I think his best game was, the been horrible, honestly. I mean, we're looking at through the first 7 weeks 60 yards, 88, 46, 43, 30, 58, 44, only having 3 touchdowns in the season and only having a best receiving game of 58 yards. So, Saquon Barkley, midseason bust number one. Number two, T. Higgins. He could come back. This second half of the season with Joe Flacco, but for the first half of the season, he was a mid-season bust for me. Ranking as a wide receiver one or wide receiver two for a lot of teams where you drafted him in the first 4 rounds. He is now ranked below a good handful of later round picks at 26. So the likes of, this is where T. Higgins is ranked, guys, around 26, is with people like Michael Pittman Jr., Xavier Worthy, Brian Thomas Jr., Devontae Smith, Stephon Diggs. This man was supposed to be a lot of people's wide receiver one or possibly wide receiver two, and now he is ranked as wide receiver 26 on the year, with a total overall. He could come back. He could come back. We saw some good production in him getting 21 fantasy points, 21-19, I believe, depending on your league, for fantasy points. So very, very questionable if T. Higgins can save your season. And right now, he's at best wide receiver two or flex, um, with only one boom game. And I mean, 11 points or less in 5 of the 7 games that have been played. So very low expectations for the rest of the year for T. Higgins, unless Joe Flacco can change our mind. T. Higgins was one of the midseason busts for me. Next one is the biggest name that is related to season of struggles. So, guys, I did some numbers, looking it up, and it looks like most people that have this player that I'm about to name have been either winless or have only had one win, and that person is Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson last week only got 19 total snaps. 19. That's not going to save you, and that's not worth starting. He was the biggest name that was drafted, high praise, kick return, whatever you saw from Travion Henderson going into the season. Yeah, he said, okay, this guy's going to be a big standout player, high percentage of targets. He can catch. It's going to be great. Looking at the season, it looks like they want Ramondre Stevenson to be the leading back and continue the lead the forthcoming weeks. Travion Henderson, I'm sad to say, was a lot of smoke and praise from analysis. And what have we gotten? Garbage. Just like the year before, we got Anthony Richardson, number one overall quarterback, and this and that and that and this. Garbage, you know? So, guys, be careful on, some of the analysis that you guys look into and a lot of smoke that some of the news channels and fantasy channels give you, because sometimes it's not all what it seems to be. Unless, I recommend do your own research. Look at the numbers, look at the stats, look at the coaching info, look at the memos, look at what people are saying about them. Because right now, we've looking at Travion Henderson, biggest loss in a season, drafted around the, early fourth round, maybe sixth, but did not plan out how you thought it would be. All right, so Brock Bowers, guys. I mean, it's not his fault that he's been a mid-season bust for me. Having Geno Smith under the center, he's got more interceptions than he does touchdowns, as well as his injury is holding him back. His best week was starting at 12.8, finished wide receiver, tight end two. Other than that, he's been a top 20 tight end, averaging, what is this, 6.7 points per game while he's injured. So I mean, you're hoping he's coming back healthy after the bye. You're hoping that the target share goes up. You may be hoping for a quarterback change, as I was when I had Brock Bowers, and some of you may be even looking to sell Brock Bowers, as I did myself, and got Kyron Williams. So very sad to see Brock Bowers not live up to expectations as drafted high, now looking at 6.7 points per game, and has been injured for the last 3 weeks. What a letdown and what a bust. Now his other partner in crime with the Raiders, Ashton Genty, taken number 4, taken number 5, taken in the first round, doesn't matter. He's only bested double-digit points in 3 out of the last 7 games, guys. His top 15 among running backs, but still second on the RB list that was picked in the first round and hasn't proven his value. So out of those games, I mean, I never picked up Ashton Genty because, once again, like Travion Henderson, you never know how it's going to be when they get in there. So very be careful your next draft in foreseeable future when a running back is giving all these high praise, or even just a rookie is getting high praise in the early rounds. Look more into it, see if it's a decision. The numbers are showing us, and if you look back at them myself, like I did, they haven't proven what they've been proven to be worth. So I believe if you guys are looking to draft a rookie in the foreseeable future, make sure it's the one. Make sure it's a Tyler Ward, a Brock Bowers, a Puka Nacua, whatever the case may be. Look into, not just go off what people are saying, giving you the hype and giving you all the smoke. Last one is BTJ, guys. Brian Thomas Jr. With over 2 games of double digits, BTJ has fell off the face of the world, drafted in the late first, early second round. He leads the NFL with the most drops. Once in the top 5, 0 times in the top 10, 0 times in the top 20, 0 times even in the top 25. That number 7 finish against Seattle gave him 19 points, but other than that, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me through this. This is our mid-season busts and top performers episode. I'm going to get ready to watch the Chargers play the Vikings. I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you enjoy this episode. Please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you can find me. I'm on TikTok and YouTube. I, as well, will be going live soon. And for more details, make sure to follow and keep in touch with me. This is Zenzone Fantasy. See you next time.